What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And in today's video we are going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Man City in the Manchester derby. Yes guys, we are going to be talking about the last game against Man City that did not go down too well, where Manchester City beat Manchester United 3-1. Let's crack on in today's video, guys. We made 4 changes from the last game against Bournemouth. Talk about the starting 11. So we started with De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Herrera, Fellaini, Matic, Lingard, Rashford, Martial. 4 changes from the last game. I expected 1 or 2 changes, not 4 changes, because it brings a lot of flair players in the team, and I was just thinking not the right starting 11 to start with. We should have started with Mata on there, and probably should have started someone like Fred. Now, we struggled in the midfield in the first half. We couldn't seem to create anything in that first half. There was just no creativity, there was just no desire, there was just no movement in the first half by Manchester United. You'll be all asking, how do I feel after that result? Now, obviously, it's disappointing because in last April when we went and played City, in the last derby at the Etihad, we beat them 3-2. We were 2-0 down and we came back of winning the game. Just because we had Pogba, it was a difference. We were playing more dynamic football and stuff like that. This game, we just weren't good enough. Like, overall, as a team, we just weren't good enough. The team spirit wasn't there. It was just not good enough from Manchester United. How do I feel? Disappointed and annoyed by the result, because United just weren't good enough in this game. To me, it looked like that we were playing some League 1, League 2 game. And I'm going to admit that #United can do a lot better than that. #United can do a lot better than Manchester United. The way how we played that game, #United can do probably 10 times better. And if you don't know who #United are, a team who was formed by Spencer and the YouTube team that have turned now semi-professional, and they're now 9 leagues below the Premier League. And I know that they can do a lot better than Manchester United. They're semi-professionals, they're not even professional footballers, and Manchester United are earning this. They're just winning games and stuff like that. But the way how we pulled off this game against City, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the best of result. I wasn't happy whatsoever with this game. Wasn't one of the games that was up there. It wasn't one of the outstanding games, because there was different questions that was asked on Full Time Devils, like, why do we keep on playing this defensive football? Why do we always park the bus? It's because it's Mourinho's tactic. It's been Mourinho's tactic since day one, since he came into the club. That's what happens all the time. I could see it happening. I just really could see it happening. And in the first 10 minutes we let in that goal, I thought, yeah, it's going to be the exact same thing. We either let them score first and then we'll probably come back into this game. We either win the game or we lose the game completely. And we lost the game completely. We just weren't good enough as a team to beat Manchester City. I know it's Man City, I know they've got a very good team, but the thing is, when we're playing up against Man City, teams like Man City that have got a very good team, we've got to be better. Like, we're playing Liverpool, I think, next month or something like that. We can't be approaching that game and losing that. But the thing is, we'll have Pogba back for a start. First half wasn't great, was it? Second half, we just weren't good enough. I listed every single thing on my iPad, and none of it was just paid off. Whatever Jose Mourinho told them at half time, they didn't do what Mourinho said. And I think also, whatever they worked on in training, they also didn't do what they worked on in training. Just a lack of mentality, a lack of understanding of this game. City just straight away knew how Manchester United were playing this game. They obviously didn't want one of these games where United were behind and didn't want United to win the game, and they killed it off with that 3rd goal. But it's devastating, because teams like City, we should be better. We should be better. I know there's no Pogba, but we got to be better without players like Pogba. But the thing is, we're winning games without Lukaku. Now that Lukaku came back into this game, he was an impact in this game. It just goes to show that we're winning games with Lukaku, and we can't win games with Lukaku. We can't win games without Pogba. It shows a difference, and it showed a difference that we lacked on someone in midfield, and that was, of course, Paul Pogba. But anyway, guys, let's crack in today's video, guys. So I'm firstly going to be talking about why did we lose this game. The first point that I put on my iPad, why did we lose this game, is because we played too many flair players, the likes of Rashford and Martial. I think if you look back at that Bournemouth game, Martial started in that Bournemouth game, but Rashford didn't start. He came off the bench and came on and scored a late goal. So it shows that if you play too many flair players, be playing at their standard, they're not going to be playing at their work rate. So we played too many flair players and we just didn't start the right mix, and we started the wrong starting 11. When I looked at it, I thought, we've not started the right team, and I knew it because we should have started Mata. Mata's been playing well in the last recent games, and we didn't start him. 2, because there was no Pogba, but you got to do without Pogba. It's just, you can't rely on one player. But it just showed we lacked on a player in midfield, and that was of course Paul Pogba. But we've got to be better. Like, we lacked on Lukaku, but we still had options. We still had Sanchez, we still had Rashford, we still had Martial. So we still had chances on there, and we still had Lingard and all these good players. But it's all about who Mourinho picks, and it's all about whether if Michael Carrick agrees, and whether if Kieran McKenna agrees. So, you know, it's got to be one of these discussions where you got to be physically and mentally prepared. Now, I want to ask that question. Were we physically and mentally prepared? Well, the lack of too many mistakes in this game just showed that the mentality wasn't there. Physically, we played that game awfully crap, but mentality, we were just being dispossessed, losing possession pretty easily, wasn't good enough. And that's the first game I've seen Manchester United just lose the ball so easily. It wasn't good enough. Thirdly, I think we were just tired from beating Juventus. I don't know whether if we got too carried away from that win or something like that, but it looked like we were just tired from after beating Juventus and just nothing was there. 4, we were outclassed, we were outworked, and we were outpassed. You could clearly see in the game that they were just creating chances after chances, and we're just creating opportunities at goal, and constantly they were just at Manchester United. They outworked us, they outclassed us, they outpassed us. It was just all about that defence in that first half and the second half, and we got outplayed at the end of the day, and we got outdone with 3 good goals of theirs. 5thly, overall as a team performance, United made too many mistakes. We just made too many mistakes in this game. This was just a game of a lack of just too many mistakes given away. Like I just said then, we were just losing possession pretty much easily in the game. We were just being dispossessed easily. The likes of Matic, again, still not playing well. And I think in this game, Herrera, he realised that Herrera was a difference in the game, but Herrera was just being the same, was losing possession easily. Just wasn't good enough. Just a game of too many mistakes. 6, United weren't fighting in the game whatsoever. There was just no fight in the game. If you go back into the game, the last time round at the Etihad, we were fighting in the game. 7, put here, we weren't playing for pride, passion, for the badge and for the shirt, and we weren't playing for the club. And once we were 2-0 down, we knew who they were playing for. It just didn't pay off, and nothing paid off for Manchester United. But I know it's Man City. I know I'm going to be getting all this thing about Man City saying, oh yeah, we're the better club in Manchester, Manchester's blue. Do you think I really give a toss? Do you really think I give a toss from that team performance? No. I don't really care whether if Manchester is red or blue at the minute. The thing is, I was saying to Tom that this is a game whether which manager gets the game plan and the tactics right. Who got the game plan and the tactics right? Pep Guardiola. So there you go. That's your answer. And 8, finally but not least, there was just no team spirit in the game from Manchester United. Just wasn't good enough overall as a game. Did we deserve to lose this game? 1000%. Jose Mourinho spoke out and said that we deserved something in that game, but we didn't. We lacked something in midfield, we lacked something in the final third, we lacked something in the attack. We weren't good enough, we couldn't create any chances at goal. We had 6 chances at goal and we had put 1 on target, and that was when we scored. So that just showed how shockingly we were in that game. We just weren't good enough in this game whatsoever. City started the game quick. United just started the game slow. In every single game we've started the game slow. not good enough. We need to start playing with a high tempo, a high intensity. It's just not good enough. City have had United on the back foot, just constantly. Defence on the back foot. City were on the front foot. City were just creating early chances and weren't clinical in front of goal. Chances that they should have scored on. If they took their chances early on in the game, it could have been a lot worse for Manchester United, to be fair. We could have been already 3-0 down in that first half. We're luckily not to go 3-0 down, really. City were just all around United. City are playing with a lot of width, a lot of pace in the team. You know, they've got Mahrez, they've got Sterling, they've got Aguero. Brings a lot of dynamic in the game, brings them a lot of fluidity in the game. And that's what we just couldn't see from Manchester United. The next minute, City score. First 10 minutes, we concede a goal. Not good enough for Manchester United. Just no team desire, just no team spirit in the game. Just not good enough. If City took earlier chances and scored on them, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been. We could have been at least 5-0 down in that first half. We've got to have these words where we just cannot be starting the game slow. We've got to start these games quick, and we can't do that at the minute. And it's just the same typical, it's the same old, where it's Mourinho's tactic by sitting back, let City come at us, let them dominate possession, let them control and dominate the first half, let them get tired, and the rest is history, really. This game was just all about decision making, whether if we made the right pass, the right move. We couldn't do any of that because we were just making way too many mistakes in the game, way too many individual mistakes, and also as a team as well. It was just a both-sided game, but really it was just a one-sided game where City were just dominating the whole game, really. United were just making way too many mistakes. United were just losing possession and being dispossessed so easily in the game. Wasn't good enough. It just showed a lack of mentality in the game. Just wasn't good enough for Manchester United. It just showed that United were sloppy and lazy in the game. We weren't good enough in this game. We weren't prepared for this game. We knew what was coming our way. We knew it was a Manchester derby, but for some reason we just couldn't turn up, and it was just all about the players turning up in this game. And it just showed that City were more prepared for this game than Manchester United. Just goes to show, really. United have not been a threat in the counter-attack. United have managed to get on the attack, but just haven't created any chances. Just not good enough from Manchester United. It was just like the Juventus game where we just got in the counter-attack, just couldn't create any chances. We just couldn't test the goalkeeper. Nothing was just happening. There was no creativity, there was no desire, there was no movement. We were too static. The defence was alright in times. The defence had made good decisions now and there. Yes, we had conceded a goal inside the first 10 minutes, wasn't as great. Overall, it wasn't the best of first halves for Manchester United. It wasn't good enough, lack of too many mistakes. Second half, United needed to be more of a threat in the counter-attack. We needed to be quicker. We needed quicker movement. We needed to create chances. United needed to test the goalkeeper. We need to be more aggressive. We need to pick up the pace and the tempo. We need to play with a high intensity, a high tempo. United didn't pull any of that off at the beginning of the second half. God knows what Jose Mourinho told them at half time, but I'll tell you what, whatever he told them, nothing paid off. City came out quick. This is the thing about City. Whether if they're tired, they'll just keep going. They'll just keep going, and their motto is they'll never give up, and that's what they do. They never give up. City created early chances. The next thing you know, City scored. Just showed how sloppy we were, and defence-wise, we were not good enough. De Gea getting beat at near post. I know it had a lot of pace on the ball. I know it got past De Gea. I know how he scored very well. I don't know how to explain it. That's the thing. I don't know how to explain his goal because I just really have no words to explain this game, really. Because it just wasn't good enough for Manchester United. United then started getting on the counter-attack. There was just no fluidity in the team. Mourinho then made a substitution. Lingard went off for Lukaku. Talk about Lingard's performance. City sussed his positional play and his errant touch gifted them the breakaway, in which Sergio Aguero finished, subbed before the hour. Wasn't good enough from Lingard. Straight away Lukaku came on and made an impact on the game. It was a great pass from Martial, and I think that was the pass of the game really by Martial. And where Lukaku got fouled in the box, a decision to give it as a penalty. I also want to criticise that referee. I think, in that first half, he should have definitely booked Fernandinho. I think it was poor refereeing as well with the penalty. I think he should have A, gave Edison a yellow card, or B, should have sent him straight off. It was just poor refereeing all game long. First goal, Martial steps up and slots it in for 2-1. And then at that point, I just thought it was game back on, really. You would have thought, let's do a 3-2 like last time at the Etihad. We were 2-1 down. Like I just said then, previously, United had 6 shots and one of them was on target. And that was our goal. Poor. Then you would expect the same impact from Lukaku and Martial. Again, United just weren't an impact in the game. Just weren't an impact. United just weren't a threat on the counter-attack. Rashford just didn't play at his standards. Herrera tried to get the energy going from defence to attack. Also, Herrera was just losing possession too easily, being dispossessed too easily. City were just controlling and dominating the game, created very good chances. Herrera went off for Mata. Talk about Herrera's performance. For such a hyperactive player, Herrera was so ponderous, and his wasteful possession sparked City counter-attacks and encouraged the hosts. It wasn't good enough. We made our final and last change. Rashford went off for Sanchez. Talk about Rashford's performance. Started up from amid Alexis Sanchez injury issue, and United were nowhere near as polished. Ran down blind alleys and micked Romelu Lukaku once or twice. It just shows that I just don't have any words in this game. Our distributions weren't good enough. The link-up play was just not good enough. City brought on reinforcements. City were just pushing constantly, creating chances at goal. City kept going. City just wanted to kill the game off with a third goal. They were looking for a third goal. Then they found that third goal and the game was just practically over. There was just no way that United just couldn't come back into the game. There was just no chance, and that summed up United from minute 1 to minute 90 really. The substitutions didn't make an impact on the game and they just weren't effective. United just weren't good enough. The team performance was awful, poor and shocking. The game plan and the tactics just didn't pay off. The substitutions just didn't pay off this time round. City 3, United 1. We're just got to accept it and move on now. Onwards and upwards, not good enough from Manchester United. Next up, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are sat 16th in the table. They're at the bottom half of the table. They're near the relegation zone. We cannot be treating this game like how we did when we were away at Crystal Palace. We can't do that. We know that Crystal Palace are up and down at the minute, been getting some good results and getting some stupid results. They're like us. They've come off a back of a loss against Tottenham, only by 1-0 really. Both Crystal Palace and Manchester United don't really have that confidence of going into the next game. United are at home. We need to pull something off at home now. We know that the Crystal Palace and the Southampton game is now both crucial for us. Pull something out of the bag now. We've got to get 6 points in the space of 2 games now. We've got to be better against Crystal Palace. We've got to prepare better, and we've got to be physically and mentally prepared for Crystal Palace. And we've got to be prepared for what's coming our way. It's a shame because Luke Shaw's now got a match ban. Who replaces him? Possibly Ashley Young in left back. He's been playing at right back. So I think he's going to be playing at left back now, and he'll be probably bringing back Valencia or Dalot in the team, so it's good to see one of them back from injury. We just need to play better, and we need to prepare better, and we've got to be physically and mentally prepared for Crystal Palace. You know, they've got some great players, Christian Benteke, Wilfried Zaha. They've got some great signings from the summer, so up for this game, we've got to be, like I said, got to be mentally and physically prepared. We've got to play with a high tempo, a high intensity from minute 1 to minute 90. Play how we play really, and we just can't let our heads slip. Keep our heads up, our chins up, and we just got to go again really. That's the motto really. Keep going, keep our heads up, and don't let our heads down really. Just because that's one stupid game and one game lack of mentality of too many stupid mistake. Slap on the wrist. We can't let our heads go down just after that one game. We've got to keep our heads up high, and we've got to go again really in the next 2 weeks. It wasn't good enough for Manchester United in the derby, but we've got to go again against Crystal Palace. Hope you guys have enjoyed another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the video in the next couple of days, and peace.